We've discussed before how two superheroes meeting for the first time almost always has the time-honored tradition of a misunderstanding that usually leads to a quick fight. But remember, we used the word almost. Such was not the case for the 1995 team-up of Batman and Spider-Man. This book saw the Dark Knight and the Web Slinger team up to take down Carnage and the Joker. But the book showed that both heroes were already aware of each other and decided to merely work together, after some grumpiness on Batman's part. Let's take a quick look at the actual book before we jump into how we thought it would have played out if they had decided to punch each other instead of talking out their differences like two fully grown adults. History lesson time! Batman was first introduced in Detective Comics number 27 in 1939. Created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger, The Dark Knight saw his parents shot and killed by a robber in an alleyway as a small boy. Bruce Wayne dedicated his life to fighting crime and spent the next couple of decades training his body and mind towards this goal. After realizing that criminals are a superstitious and cowardly lot, he took up the persona of Batman and began to patrol the dark and twisted streets of Gotham. Spider-Man was introduced in Amazing Fantasy number 15 and was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. Peter Parker was your average nerdy teen until he was bitten by a radioactive spider. He quickly learned that with great power also comes great responsibility, and he takes up the persona to fight crime within the city of New York. Now let's get into that book. The story opens up with both heroes having nightmares that quickly set up their origin stories, and in case anyone who is reading didn't know who they were already. Cut to Ravenloft Institute, where we see Spider-Man standing nearby while a therapist is trying to get through to Cletus Cassidy. It doesn't work and Carnage manages to break free, Spider-Man fighting him long enough for the guards to hit him with microwave guns and knock him out. A new doctor then arrives, informing them that she will be conducting surgery on Cletus to put a microchip in his brain to make him docile. They argue briefly over the ethical nature of this surgery, but go through with it anyway. Cut back to Gotham City, where Batman is managing to stop the Joker before he can infect the entirety of Gotham with rabies bats. The clown is defeated and brought to Arkham Asylum. The same doctor shows up there offering to cure the Joker the same way that she did with Cletus Cassidy. Both villains are cured, and the doctor prepares to leave with them for an interview. One guard seems to be paying more attention than the others, though. During the car ride, we discover that Cletus has actually been faking it, with the symbiote destroying the chip after it was implanted. He destroys the car and begins to attack the guards, but it is then revealed that Batman was disguised as the guard that was paying too much attention and begins to fight the symbiote. Spider-Man, of course, arrives, revealing that he was watching from a distance, and he joins the fight. Carnage manages to distract the heroes and escape with the Joker. Batman and Spider-Man talk briefly, with the Dark Knight ordering the wall crawler, "Get out of my city before you get hurt." Batman returns to the Batcave, where Alfred points out that he doesn't know enough about Carnage's random chaos to track him down. Batman agrees, and he heads out for the night. At an abandoned warehouse, Cletus destroys the Joker's chip, releasing him into his own madness again. The two begin to plan to spread the Joker virus throughout the city, but Carnage disagrees, believing that they don't need a plan and should just start killing everyone. The two realize that they can't work together, as the Joker makes these elaborate plans and Carnage is just random psychoness. So Carnage tries to kill the Joker. But the Clown Prince of Crime manages to escape the warehouse and blow it up around Carnage. Meanwhile, Batman finds Spider-Man in the city. They put aside their differences and they begin to work together, with Batman explaining that he needs Spider-Man's help to track Carnage. They discover the destroyed warehouse, finding Cletus' supposedly dead body, but Spider-Man doesn't fall for the trick, and Carnage leaps out grabbing Spider-Man, promising to kill him if Spider-Man gets any closer. But Joker reappears at this time with his virus bomb, promising to kill them all if he isn't the one to kill Batman. Spider-Man moves to stop the Joker, while Batman manages to take Carnage all by himself. For a moment, it looks like Spider-Man might actually kill the Joker, realizing that the only way to truly stop him would be to kill him. But he comes to his senses, knocking out the villain instead. With both villains defeated, Batman and Spider-Man part ways with a handshake, with Batman realizing that sometimes he needs to trust in his friends. So yeah, this is one of those rare crossovers where the heroes didn't try to beat each other up, if they actually teamed up. But where's the fun in that? What if Batman hadn't decided that he needed Spider-Man's help to track down Carnage? What if he headed straight back into the city because he had been getting reports that the wall crawler was still fighting crime? What would that have looked like? Gotham City. The night is dark and cold, steam rising from the sewer grates, blending in with the neon glow of downtown. Regardless of what Batman said, Spider-Man knows that he needs to stay in Gotham and find Carnage. He needs to bring him down and take him to jail. So he swings through the city, spotting a woman being mugged, quickly taking down the thug and webbing him to the walls. He then leaps back into the air, swinging up onto a nearby rooftop. "I thought I told you to get out of my city," Batman growls as he steps from the shadows. "It's dangerous here, and I can deal with the Joker and Carnage." Spider-Man turns to him, trying to talk some sense into the Dark Knight, explaining that they need to work together. "Last chance," Batman warns. "I'm staying," Spider-Man would tell him with a shake of his head. At that moment, his spider sense would go off as Batman begins to move with lightning speed, tossing a collection of batarangs at the wall crawler. But the world seems to slow down as Spider-Man leaps, twists, and avoids the sharp metal as it streaks past him. But Batman is moving too fast, quickly hammering Spider-Man with several blows. Spider-Man blocks them all in rapid succession before finally flipping away as he tries to talk to the Dark Knight. Batman has studied his opponent, realizing that he has some way to anticipate an attack and realizes that he has to outthink the webhead. Spider-Man moves in, swinging wildly. He's had some training, but nowhere near as precise as Batman's training. The Dark Knight manages to knock him off balance, pushing him back down again. He then grabs his grappling gun, firing it at the wall crawler. But Spider-Man easily dodges, allowing the hook to slam into the wall behind him. "You're not gonna hit me, Batman. I'm too quick and agile for you," Spider-Man explains, but Batman smiles grimly. "I know," he growls, yanking hard on the grapple line, ripping a chunk of the wall out, slamming it into the back of Spider-Man's head. "Are you kidding me?" Spider-Man snaps, shooting out a web, grabbing the gun out of Spider-Man's hands. "Okay, you can't be trusted to play nice with your toys." He leaps into the air, swinging quickly away. "You let me know when you want to play nice," he quips as he's off and running. But his spider sense begins to tingle again as he sees Batman gliding behind him, his cape caught up in the city's updraft. Batman slams into him, knocking him down another rooftop. The Dark Knight then rolls onto his feet, throwing another batarang, but Spider-Man catches it this time, with his spider sense going crazy again as it suddenly explodes in his hand. He stumbles back, growing more angry now. He leaps to Batman again with the two trading blows back and forth, mostly blocking on both sides. Spider-Man is still trying hard to pull his punches and not hit Batman with his full force, but the Dark Knight is just starting to piss him off. Finally, he backflips away, shooting his webs out to stick Batman's feet to the ground. With Batman unable to flip and twist, he leaps in, using his spider sense to avoid a few more hits before finally hitting Batman in the face hard enough to knock him to the ground and stun him. "All right, now you're going to listen," Spider-Man says as he webs up the Dark Knight. He spends the next several minutes explaining to Batman why they need to work together. Batman finally agrees, surprising Spider-Man as he manages to release himself from the webs using a compound that he had created to dissolve the web crawler's web lines, cause, Batman prepared for this. They finally shake hands and head into the night to defeat evil. This fight is, of course, based around the idea that Batman didn't have enough prep time to fight every one of Spider-Man's abilities. Using his spider sense and superior strength and agility, Spider-Man would most likely be able to defeat Batman in a straight brawl. The Dark Knight would then be able to get around some of Spider-Man's abilities with strategies that he develops on the fly, but Spider-Man would most likely get that final punch in. They would both end up working together, of course, because that's how these comics work, and we've got Carnage and Joker roaming the city. But that is how we would do Batman versus Spider-Man. What do you guys think of the classic 90s comic book, and what do you guys think about our take on the fight? Let me know more in the comments down below, more fights that exist in comic books already, or tweet me at Comicstorian on Twitter and let me know. Thank you guys so much for your continued support, and I'll see you next time right here.